it's me, MissDarizard, and it's time for the Week 3 recap of the MissDarizard Draft League. Let's just jump right in. So the first match that we're going to cover is actually Pearly against Primersu. Pearly is still undefeated this season, so this was Pearly's match to try and see if they can remain undefeated. Starting off quick, Lando finally picking up a kill on the year, taking out Cabalion. And then we see a little bit of positioning here. Pearly going ahead and getting some stealth rocks out for some chip damage. Mega Gardevoir, Mega Gallade desperately trying to pick up a kill there. But Pearly smartly swapping into Scizor, who 4 times resists Leaf Blade. And then U-turning to get momentum into Dracovish. And this is the game from here, basically. Pearly basically just clicks Vicious Rend until the match is over, and that's really all it takes. So, big week for Dracovish. And that covers that match. The next match we'll cover is myself against Garfunkel, and this is another one that I just really don't want to talk about. I misplayed after misplayed in this one. Starting off, the Sash Golem was not ready for, and then it blows up, and with Galvanize it's electric, so Shuckle does not resist and dies. I swap in a Pex here to try and just give me some sort of pivot against this Hoopa. Pretty sure this Hoopa was Specs because it was hitting like a truck. We swap in a Bulu here because it resists, but even then still taking big damage from Dark Pulse, 44%. We protect to try and get a little bit of health back, thanks to Grassy Terrain, get some damage off on the Dusclops, as well as restore some of our health. And then we go ahead and we protect again to get a little bit more health back, because we want, Aku as healthy as possible. And then I go ahead and swap into Pidgeot here, because it's a normal type, and this is a ghost type, and Will-O-Wisp doesn't bother Pidgeot. I go ahead and defog to clear hazards. I heal to get my health back. And then for some reason, instead of leaving outright Pidgeot, which can just slowly wear down to Dusclops, I swap in knowing he has Will-O-Wisp on this, getting my only check for Mega Charizard burnt to reduce my damage. A tremendous misplay on my part. Absolutely tremendous. It really cost me the game. And this Dusclops is, being annoying, but it's still, over time, Pidgeot can wear that thing down. It even get a confusion with Hurricane. And then here, the Charizard starts dancing. I have Earthquake. Instead of Earthquake, I click Rock Slide for some reason, when Earthquake would have killed Charizard. Like, I really don't know what I was doing or why I did what I did. And then here, Garfunkel gets really greedy, continues boosting with the Charizard. And then Thunder Punch is revealed. So at this point, I know the 4 moves. I don't need to give up Pidgeot like that, and I do. Another bad misplay. I should have known I can go into Dragapult, resist and kill, or even go into Tapu Bulu, resist and kill. But I don't, and I just make a major misplay, and it ends up costing me the game. And Hoopa just cleans up from here. It was a game well played by Garfunkel. The next matchup we'll cover is Sergeant Mech against Jazz. This one was one that was a lot closer than the scoreboard let on. It seemed early on that Sergeant Mech's strat was to Cosmic Power Boost with Mew, but that Toxic kind of ruined those plans early. And then Audino, the Cleric, just not able to live a body press to get a heal bell off. Cinderace coming in, able to essentially clean up the Diancie, and then somehow live a priority Vacuum Wave, and then finish off the Lucario, not missing that Pyro Ball. And then smartly, Mech swaps out here to avoid death by priority Grassy Glide. Type Null kind of just walls this thing off, especially when it has Rest and it can restore its health like we're about to see. And then we see some Sleep Talk strats here. Now, unfortunately, Mech never gets the roll on the Sleep Talk, so we never find out what that 4th move is. Could it have been a difference maker, potentially, but we don't know what it was. All we get to see is Sleep Talk, Rest, and Toxic. And then Regirock comes out, and this is where the match kind of changes. Regirock comes out here and is able to start setting up iron defenses along with the body presses. And thanks to that Toxic on turn 1 is able to outlast Mew. Otherwise, I'm not sure this Regirock would have been able to win this in the long run, especially with soft-boiled. But because of the Toxic, you know, it is able to outlast. So very unfortunate for Sergeant Mech losing Audino to clear off the Toxic from Mew, because Mew is basically the only win con at this point for him to stand up against this Regirock. And we just slowly watch this Mew wear down, and then the Regirock just kind of sweeps the team from there. Again, that Toxic making all of the difference. You know, if that Mew wasn't Toxic, maybe this sweep goes the other way around here, because I'm not really sure that Jazz has anything that can stop a fully boosted Mew that's just body pressing everything. The next match is Gent versus Okan. Right off the bat, we actually see the Dark Pulse Choice spec Squid Ninja taking out the Beetle. Not sure if Gent thought that the Beetle could live that based off calcs. But it doesn't, and the Ninja just hits way too hard, takes out the Orbeetle early. The burn not really mattering on the Venusaur, because Venusaur wants to hit specially anyway, so I'm not sure that was like a good use of the turn there. Getting some good chip on this Tornadus, but Gent wants to swap out because it doesn't want to eat a flying type air slash from this thing, which gives Okan a chance to nasty plot and just kill Gent's Mega with Grass Knot. Zoo's living discharge, which is huge from the Lantern, and then able to kill the Lantern. And then Gent's finally able to pick up his first kill here against the Weezing with Psycho Cut from Gallade, knock off the Eviolite. Again, going for a Perish Song here, which isn't something you see very often in singles, but we do see it here. But that's not what gets this thing killed. It really just is more annoying than anything, because now he has to swap. Swaps into Venusaur, who does not like that knockoff, but is able to heal. But then Fire Punch comes in, so Okan does reveal the Fire Punch on Muck. Gent able to get the Leech Seed off, and then die to Ice Beam from Greninja. And then, you know, I think Gent was expecting a swap there, going for the knockoff. I don't think he expected Okan to leave the Ice type in there against Gallade, because Gallade could just Drain Punch and kill. But he does, and then finally swaps into Garchomp, and Garchomp just kind of cleans up from here. A lot of one-sided matches this week, unfortunately. Not every week is like this. This match right here was probably the most exciting match of the week. And it was the Battle of the Phalanx teams. This one was for Phalanx superiority, even though neither of them have a Phalanx on their team. But we have Godbear versus Minor Manectric. Some good swapping going on here early on. Godbear is able to get some Stealth Rocks up, so actually benefits from the constant swapping because the chip really helps Godbear out here. And then we see a big Draco Meteor. We see the Manaphy live it, and then this knockoff does so much damage. So much damage. I don't think it was the same bulky set that we've been seeing on this Manaphy every year, or every match so far this year. I think it went kind of offensive this time, and I think the damage, you know, shows that. I do kind of wonder why Minor Manectric continues to run pressure on this Corviknight instead of Mirror Armor, because Mirror Armor would have reflected the Intimidate back at Arcanine. Not that that would have made a big difference, but you never know. Also, instead of boosting there with the sub in front of you, why don't you go for some damage? You know, that damage on Jolteon could have made a difference here. I'm not sure it would have been enough to win, but definitely could have made a difference in Godbear's like thinking process as far as where do I swap, you know, how do I pivot, because you can't, you know, every little bit of chip matters. Every little bit of chip matters. And that was kind of a wasted substitute, unfortunately. But we do see the trick to get the Flame Orb on the Mamoswine, and this Driftblim just so chonky, able to just keep living, healing itself with Strength Stab, making this Mamoswine weaker and weaker. Getting a crit here on the Shadow Ball, honestly, like, I think he could have kept Strength Sapping. I don't think it dies to an Ice Shard there, and they didn't go for Ice Shard anyways, they went for Icicle Crash, so I really think they could have just kept going for Strength Sap, kept healing, and then taken out the Mamoswine with the Driftblim, which would have been really cool to see a Driftblim take down a Mamoswine like that. We see the Extreme Speed finally revealed on the Arcanine to take out the Goodra. And then the Will-O-Wisp. So this is a very interesting set on Arcanine. We see Extreme Speed for priority. We see Fire Blast, so a special type move, so it's a mixed attacker, along with Will-O-Wisp for support. Really, really spicy set on the Arcanine. Dual Wing Beat, not going to do much to Jolteon, who resists. And then Drifblim dying to Rocks on the swap. Urshifu coming in, getting a little bit of health back, but watch how much damage this Volt Switch does. Oh my goodness, 81%. That's absolutely insane. Then Urshifu dying to burn. So that Will-O-Wisp from earlier mattering. Arcanine finishing off the Vileplume, and then able to finish off the Corviknight as well. Again, I said this was probably the closest match, even though it was a 5-0 differential, but I think the game was closer than the scoreboard let on. This one, however, was statistically the closest game of the week, even though it went kind of fast. You see the entrainment on the Camerupt, but when a Pokemon Mega evolves, its ability changes. So the entrainment arena trap strats that Spega has tried to apply in the past isn't going to work here. The Sash saving the Gigalith, and then Stone Edge finishing off the Thundurus. Lots of momentum swapping around here. Not sure I agree with LA not preserving Gigalith there for Sand, because you really want to preserve that Sand set, because all you gotta do is swap in Gigalith to get value, because it sets up Sand for Excadrill, who loves that Sand. Excadrill picking up a kill and then dying to the Dugtrio. Not sure why Spega goes for Home Claws here, especially in front of a Roserade. Because he basically takes all that damage for free when he could have just freely swapped into Abomasnow. And then this exchange is interesting. Abomasnow is actually faster than Camerupt, but I think maybe he was worried because it was no speed investment that the Camerupt did have speed investment. If the Camerupt did have speed investment, it does lose and die there. But if it's faster, which typically it is, it finishes off the Camerupt. So I'm not sure that was the right play there, but no reason not to play it safe. So I don't really disagree with it at all, and just obviously takes us back to the beginning. So we'll go ahead and move on to the standings. This week, we're actually gonna focus on the top 6. This is the top 6 in the league right now. If the playoffs were to start today, this is what we would see. These are the top 6 teams in the league. We see Friendship Society and the Norfolk Kinglers, both tied at number 1. The only difference is, and it should be 1-2, not 1-1. That was a mistake on my part, so I apologize for that, because the differential does make the difference in the tiebreaker. However, this week, they actually play each other, so definitely a match to keep an eye on. They'll be battling for the only undefeated record in the league, so it'll be super interesting to see who comes out on top in that one. In third place, Dutch Devils. Okan, Okan has lost the game this year. He's 2-1, but with a 9 kill differential, looking really, really strong despite losing a game, still having a really, really solid differential early on in the season, looking really good. In fourth place is Chicago Phalanx, who will actually be taking on the 5th place Sanibel Salazzle, so that's another one to keep an eye out for this week. They will be playing each other, and that one could be a lot of fun. These are 2 really good coaches, so I'm excited to see what they come up with for each other. And then rounding up the top 6 is the Rock and Rillabooms. There are lots of teams that are at a record of 1-2, but the Rock and Rillabooms has the best differential at a 1-2 record. So this right here is the top 6 in the league, the top 6 teams that the league has to offer. And its playoffs started today. This is who would go. Of course, it's super early in the season. There's still 8 more weeks to go, so a lot can change, but this is what we see early on. And then finally, Pokemon of the week, and surprise, surprise, Dracovish. I mean, Dracovish just had 5 kills. I mean, I know Pearly didn't want me to use Dracovish as the Pokemon of the week because They said that they just clicked one button the whole time with Fish's Friend, but that's something you got to prepare for. When you see a Dracovish on the other team, you have to be prepared for Choice Scarf Fish's Friend. And unfortunately, probably just wasn't ready to deal with it and lost to it. So that's what happens when you're not prepared for Choice Scarf Dracovish. So yeah, that's the league this week. It was a lot of fun. I mean, let's be honest, this week was super lopsided. Not the most exciting in terms of like close matches. I'm really hopeful that week 4 is a little bit better as far as non-lopsided matches go. We'll just have to wait and see. I will be having my match live on Tuesday if anyone wants to come hang out for that. That'd be super cool. And yeah, that basically does it. So thanks everyone who stuck with me this long through the video, and y'all have a good one.